There you go. There you go. You know who do a great job making these wooden wheels? The Amish. It's kind of hard to reach them on the phone because... And I use this when I go to work and stuff. And, you know, in LA traffic, most of the time you can't go much over 30 anyway.
Hi, I'm Dennis Gage, and welcome to My Classic Car. Well, this week we're back out in LA to visit Jay Leno. It's always so much fun seeing Jay, and you know, he loves having me in his shop. And hey, Jay, hey, Jay, how you doing?
Dennis.
Hey, man,
Hey,
yeah,
good
great
to
to
see
see
you.
you, yeah.
How are you?
Oh, good.
Well, today we're going to talk about a car that's, well, as old as Dennis himself.
Whoa, now we're talking old.
This
We're
is
talking old.
It's a 1916 Autocar truck.
An Autocar truck.
Now, Autocar is the oldest nameplate in America, 1897.
Built where?
Originally in Pittsburgh, a guy named Lewis and John Clark, two brothers. They started it, and then I think 1899 they moved to Ardmore, Pennsylvania. And they're still around in one form or another. They make refuge trucks and big trucks.
Really?
And although this looks like a very simple vehicle, it's actually extremely well thought out. This was a coal truck. This was meant to deliver coal to people in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, actually, in the city. That's
in
why
town. It's a town.
In town. You put 2.5 tons in there. It's narrow. It steers almost, you can almost swing it 90 degrees. I mean, it looks like a simple thing, but it's made of the best materials. And Autocar was an interesting company. They invented the insulated spark plug. Now, this looks like it might be something from 1907 or 1908, but it's actually 1916. It's got acetylene lights. It's two-cylinder. The engine is right under here. I'll show you. Let me lift this up.
Whoa. Now that's interesting.
It goes all the way up.
All the way
like that. Put that back like that.
That's interesting.
Two big motor right there. 18 horsepower, lots of torque. Twin flywheels, as you can see, flywheel on each side, so it's really smooth.
And it's horizontal. It's
a boxer type engine, like a BMW motorcycle almost.
And where does that term come from?
The term boxer, everybody thinks a boxer engine means it fits in a box or it's flat. It actually comes from the con rods, the connecting rods. When they turn like this, so
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, like a boxer, actually. So that's where the term boxer comes from. And you put your oil in here, you just fill it with oil, and it's kind of a total loss system, and it drips down. Now, when it came to checking the oil, people were not as environmentally sound back in the day as they are now. They have this on Model Ts, too. You have a lever here and a lever here. You turn that. If you turn the lower one, if oil comes out, you're fine.
Yeah.
You turn the upper one, if oil comes out, you probably got a little too much, okay? If you turn the upper one, no oil comes out. You turn the lower one, oil comes out. That's just about right. So you just drop an oil on the ground.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what people used to do, just drop oil on the ground. I mean, obviously you don't do that anymore. But that's just the way you did it. You open those, and that tells you your level.
What's this little, is that a sight glass
That's
of
a
some
sight
sort?
glass to let you know how much oil is in there. This is an oil chest. This holds the oil.
Yeah.
And it just...
That looks cast also.
Oh, yeah. These are well made. And that magneto... You know, I don't think anybody's touched that magneto in 100 years, almost 100 years. I mean, it's all fairly original, and you know, they throw a spark. You know, good mags will last, God, forever. Yeah. I mean, they only went to battery and coil because it was cheaper, because mags are very expensive to make. The nice thing about a mag is, if everything else fails in the car, you still have spark, and you can still get yourself home. But these were workhorses. These were meant to be started in the morning and shut off 15 to 16 hours later.
And they just sit there and...
And they just sit there and they run all day. Don't forget, there were no paved roads at the time or cobblestone roads.
So hard rubber tires.
Hard rubber tires. I have not checked the air in these tires in almost
Forever.
100 years. And as you can see back here, because of the harsh winters in Philadelphia, they would drill the tires and put spikes in here.
Just screw them in?
To get you through the ice, yeah. I should say massive springs.
Hefty rear end too, man.
Hefty rear. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Well, you might
thank
get
you.
into the gym a little bit more,
Yeah.
Jay.
So this thing will climb almost anything. You fill it with 2 tons of coal and it goes about 22 miles an hour. You take the coal out, it goes about 22 miles an hour. That's what it does. It really makes no difference whether it's loaded up or not. I mean, look at the size of the rear end. Look at the reduction gear in there.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah, it's a neat vehicle.
So what's the transmission on it, though?
The transmission is a 3-speed transmission, as you can see. You've got
like an H pattern?
Yeah. No, sequential.
Sequential.
1 back, neutral, 3 forward. You got acetylene lights, which means they're gas. You light them with a match. There's your bumper right there. There's your radiator. There's your starter. And she idles right down. Here, let's try and start her up. You got to throw out the whole block. This you're doing 2 at a time.
So
Yeah, and this was sort of, they started with 2-cylinder engines, then 4, then 6, and then later they went into all of that. This is exactly the way they were painted. This was red, steering box was red, all these different colors. We didn't do it to look Christmassy. Or,
it is very festive, though.
Well, yeah, that's just the way they did it. You know, you have to remember, most people were still into horse and wagons, so when you opened the hood of a car, there was a lot of ooh, ah factor. You don't really have that anymore. You open modern cars and
You can't even see it.
yeah, it's a big piece of plastic and a couple of things for fluids. But the idea was they were very proud of the technology.
Well,
See, you put your oil in right here. See, everything is very, I mean, look how stylized all that is.
Built-in funnel, basically.
These are your priming cups. In the old days, when it was cold outside, you would put a little gas in each one of these, open that,
Drop it down.
and that would pour gasoline directly into the cylinder so it'd start a little
You wanted
bit
to close
easier.
it back up, or you said stuff flying back out at you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here, we'll show you the other side as well. Let's open up the other side of the motor.
Yeah, a lot going on here, too.
Let's see the way you check your spark. You can open these up
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say,
check
what are
your
those?
Those little doors, you check your valves. Those doors
Really?
pop
Wow.
open, yeah. You know, it's funny when you realize how much maintenance was required by the owner. I have a mid-30s Vincent Series A motorcycle. It's a V-twin. It's called the Plumber's Nightmare because
Right.
it has a, and it says in the manual, after 1,000 miles, owner should disassemble engine, check everything, reassemble. Check everything.
Everything.
Reassemble.
And put it
Yeah.
back together.
Put it back together. Yeah, so that's basically it. You see, once again, much like the Autocar, your big, giant mag. This has a battery. You start it on the battery. As soon as it fires, you switch over to mag, and the mag keeps the
Oh, really?
spark going. Yeah, yeah.
You manually switch that over?
Yeah, that's
Clink,
that.
click.
That's that big. When we go to start it right now, we'll show you.
Stay close. We'll take a ride in Jay's 1913 Packard.
Have your hand pump here, the low pressure gauge right there. Okay, let's see if she starts.
She's out of gear, I trust? Wow.
That's right. Now I'm switching over to mag. Now you advance and retard your ignition right here. Got your horn right there. This has a sequential gearbox, has a transaxle, like a modern Corvette. Your gearbox is in the back for better weight distribution. There's nothing new under this. All your gauges are right here. All your dash lights, everything is here. Your horn is here. Everything is right in front of the driver. That was sort of the, I mean, real quality clock right there. Your Warner Speedo. Most cars, you're still starting the lights with a match. You'd open the door and light the acetylene. This, you just flick a switch and you go. This is what really put the big steam cars out of business. You get in, you turn the key, and you are ready to go.
All the convenience.
Let's take it for a ride.
Yeah, I like that idea.
The side of the road, you pick it up pretty quickly. But it's actually comfortable.
You know what's nice is where your arm rests on the. It's just it's perfectly matched.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know, this has been a blast rolling around LA with Jay in a 1913 Packard. It was a lot of fun. Jay, I'm sure he'll let me come back. You know, it's a lot of fun. He always, you know, I'm sure he has a lot of good time with me, a lot of fun with me. So I'm sure we'll be doing this again, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Shall we drive a little more? Okay, fine.